After watching this video, your English learning will be much easier. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Alice's English channel, where learning English is easy and fun.
It really is, and we're so glad you are here with us today.
Yeah, we are. Before we really jump into the mission for today's deep dive, please do yourself a quick favor. Save this audio, hit that follow button, and, commit to listening to this specific conversation a few times.
Just a few times this week, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, if you listen closely, your English ability is going to improve so quickly. I mean, you will see a huge difference in just 1 month.
Oh, absolutely. 1 month of doing the right things can change everything.
Right. And today, our mission is to talk about what that right thing actually is. Because so many of you get so frustrated when you practice.
Yeah, that frustration is super common.
It is. You know the feeling. You're standing in front of your mirror, you're practicing your speaking,
Yeah.
trying to get it perfect. But then you go out, someone asks you a simple question, and you just freeze.
You completely freeze up, and it feels so unnatural.
It really does. So today, we are going to reveal a secret. The true secret to mastering English is actually not speaking first.
No, it's not.
It's listening.
Right. It is all about listening. And to really wrap our heads around why we shouldn't just force ourselves to speak right away, we have to look at the ultimate language learners.
Which are babies, right?
Exactly, babies. I mean, think about it. A baby does not talk on day one.
No, they definitely don't. They basically just spend like a whole year staring and drooling.
Right, just staring, drooling, and soaking everything up. We call this the silent period in linguistics.
The silent period. I like that. So they're just quiet, but their brains are working.
Working incredibly hard. During that whole year, they are just soaking up the sounds, the rhythms, and the grammar patterns of the people talking around them.
So it's almost like they're building a database in their brain.
A database.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the perfect way to describe it.
Because if you build that database by just listening, eventually you don't even have to memorize those boring grammar rules anymore.
You really don't. You bypass the rules completely.
Right. You just kind of know when a sentence sounds right because your brain has heard it 1,000 times before.
Exactly. Your brain just recognizes the pattern. It's like, oh, I've heard this 1,000 times, so this must be correct.
But wait, let me push back on this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because building a database sounds great, but it can't just mean turning on the TV and walking away.
Ah, right. No, it is not just any TV show.
Because, like, if I turn on the Fast Daily News in English, I mean, I don't understand anything. It's just a wall of sound. How does that help me build my database?
Well, the short answer is it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't.
Not at all. In fact, if you listen to something that is way too fast or too complicated, your brain just shuts down completely.
It just gives up.
Exactly. It just becomes background noise. And this brings us to a really famous concept by a linguist named Dr. Stephen Krashen.
Okay, Dr. Stephen Krashen, what did he say?
He came up with this idea called comprehensible input.
Comprehensible input. So, input that you can comprehend or understand.
Right. He figured out that to learn a language, you have to listen to content that is just a little bit harder than your current level.
Just a little bit. Not a lot harder.
Exactly. We call it finding your sweet spot.
The sweet spot. I love that term. What does that actually look like for a learner?
So your sweet spot is when you can understand about 70 to 80% of what you are hearing.
Okay, 70 to 80%. So not everything.
Right. If you understand 100%, it's way too easy. You might get bored and you aren't really learning anything new.
Yeah, that makes sense. And if I understand like 20%, that's the fast news problem. It's too hard and my brain shuts down.
Exactly. But at that 70 to 80% mark, you know enough of the words to follow the story, but there are still some unknown words mixed in.
And what do we do with those unknown words? Do we pause and grab a dictionary?
No, please do not grab a dictionary. That ruins the fun.
Okay, no dictionary. So what do we do?
You use the context to guess what the new words mean. Your brain is a puzzle-solving machine.
Let's give an example of that guessing, because I think it's super helpful.
Yeah.
Let's say you were listening to a story about a traveler at an airport.
Okay, great scenario.
And from the 80% you do understand, you know the traveler's late and you know he is looking for his airplane.
Right, you get the basic situation.
Then you hear this sentence. He frantically tore open his backpack, dumping his clothes on the floor, desperately searching for his lost passport.
That is a perfect example.
Right, because you might have absolutely no idea what the word frantically means. This is 20% you don't know.
Exactly.
But you know he is late. You know he is dumping clothes everywhere. So your brain just naturally guesses. Oh, frantically must mean doing something in a panic Really fast and messy.
Yes. And when your brain makes that guess on its own, it is so much more powerful than just reading a definition.
It really sticks in your memory.
It does. It builds a much stronger connection in your database.
So once we find this sweet spot material, this 70 to 80%, how exactly do we consume it? Because that's a very practical question here.
Lay it on me.
Do I need to, like, sit quietly at a desk with a notebook and a pen to study this audio? Because that sounds like a lot of work.
I am so glad you asked that. Absolutely not. No desk required.
Oh, thank goodness.
Honestly, sitting at a desk makes it feel like a chore. What you need instead is quantity and consistency. You need immersion.
Immersion, so surround yourself with it.
Right. And you do this through something called passive listening.
Passive listening. How does that work in real life?
It means you turn your daily life into an English-speaking environment. You just put your headphones in while you are doing other things.
Oh, I see. Like when I'm washing the dishes.
Washing the dishes is perfect. Or commuting to work, riding the bus, walking the dog.
So you aren't really adding extra study time to your day. You are just pairing English with things you already have to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's brilliant because it takes no extra time, but you are getting hours and hours of that input.
That makes it so much easier to stay consistent. But I do have to ask, what about repetition? Should I just listen to 100 different podcasts?
Well, variety is nice, but there is real magic in listening to the exact same thing multiple times.
Really? The exact same audio. Doesn't that get boring?
It sounds like it would, but it actually changes how your brain processes the language.
Oh, so?
Think about the first time you listen to a story. You are just trying to get the big idea, just following the plot.
Right. You were just trying to survive and understand the main point.
Exactly. But by the fourth or fifth time you listen to that same audio, you already know the story, so your brain relaxes.
Oh, I get it. Because I already know the ending, I'm not stressing about the plot anymore.
Right. And because your brain isn't working so hard to understand the big picture, it suddenly starts noticing all these tiny little details.
Details like what?
Like the grammar. You start noticing the prepositions. You realize, oh, they said have been instead of was.
Oh, wow. So you were naturally absorbing the grammar without studying it?
Yes. You hear the idioms, you hear the word order, and more importantly, you start hearing the music of the language.
The music. What do you mean by the music of English?
Every language has its own rhythm and melody. English has a very specific beat. Some words are stressed and loud, and other words are kind of swallowed and quiet.
Right, native speakers definitely don't say every word like a robot. They flow.
Exactly. And when you repeat the audio over and over, you start to naturally copy that rhythm. It directly improves your speaking.
So all this listening is actually the secret to better speaking.
It is the only way to speak naturally. When you copy that music, your vocabulary, your grammar, and your pronunciation just naturally fall into place.
That is so freeing. It means you really can stop talking to the mirror.
Please stop talking to the mirror.
Yeah, just step away from the mirror and start listening to the world. Let your ears be your best teachers.
Your ears are definitely the best teachers you could ever ask for.
So we want to ask you, the listener, right now, what do you like to listen to?
Yeah, are you into music or maybe movies? Or do you prefer deep dives like this one?
And do you find it difficult to do active listening, where you just sit and focus? Or do you love the idea of passive listening while you are just, doing your daily chores?
We really want to know what works for you.
We do. So if you found a really great English resource today, or if this conversation helped you, please go to the comments below and type the exact phrase, listen up.
Just type listen up in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Remember to keep your ears open and your heart curious.
Absolutely. But before we go, we want to leave you with one final kind of provocative thought to ponder on your own.
Ooh, I love a good question to think about. What is it?
Well, we just talked about how listening to the music and the rhythm of English is the true secret to learning it.
Right, the melody of the language.
So think about this. What hidden rhythms and musical patterns might you discover if you start actively listening to the everyday conversations in your own native language tomorrow?
Oh, wow. That is a fascinating thought. You will probably hear things you never noticed before.
You really will. Have a great day, everyone, and keep listening.